I think the insight there is that the consent letters went out to teams that are already in the playoffs right now. And therefore, and he also said he doesn't want it out there publicly knowing who he's interviewing until after the fact. Now,
why?
the job
Everybody knows it anyway.
But
I got the list right in front of me.
You've got a list of a few names that have been publicly made and a few names that are speculated.
What's the big secret, Dean?
But there are, because you want to be able to do your business in private, and it's our job as writers to try to to break news. Those are two conflicting things.
Pretty easy to do.
But I believe there is news that people are being interviewed. I believe that the personnel for the Packers is being interviewed. I believe the director of player personnel for the Saints and the Steelers are as well, and their names aren't being mentioned here, but they are on a short list of GM candidates. I think that Jimmy Ray has a good chance of getting this job, but I think ultimately it's going to be the best candidate. Why would Jimmy Ray be the best candidate? Because no other person knows the Chargers better than Jimmy Ray as a possible candidate.
That's the problem. Well, he's too close. He's just a company guy. He's a yes man. He won't make any decisions on his own.
I completely agree with you, Dan. I think Jimmy Ray is the best man for this job. I think a lot of the players respect and like him. And
I would think Bill Polian's the best man for the job.
I think he's going to do a great job if he gets the job.
If he doesn't get the job, if it's somebody else, then you have to go do what John Butler did in 2001. And that is he basically got held up in a hotel room for a week and reviewed everybody's tape and created a list of haves and not and start over. I think Jimmy Ray can be further along in that process in deciding what he's going to do with this team. And let's be honest, Jimmy Ray has been the front man as the GM ever since I've been around the team. In the 3 years that I was there on a daily basis, I saw A.J. Smith approach and speak at a podium one time. Usually it was Jimmy Ray when he talked about player personnel.
Yeah, and if you needed help in this process, I don't know if you get any better advice than from Ron Wolf. He's been there, done that.
I asked Ron if his job was to bring the candidates to the table, and that's not necessarily the case. I think the reason why you hire a guy like Ron Wolf is you want somebody to be able to ask the right questions in an interview process to solicit the answers to see if this person is capable of doing the job. And here's somebody who has experience in doing so. And we have to go back to 2001 since you really went through an interview process in terms of getting John Butler at the time. And I'm not even sure then. I don't know the history in 2001 was Alex Spanos doing it and not Dean Spanos way back then. So I think it was smart for Dean to get a consultant to help with this process.
Ron Wolf has been through more interviews than Carter has liver pills. Okay, he has absolutely been through the mill. He knows a good interview, and he said, I heard him say, he's looking for that guy who's going to knock his socks off.
Let's go back to your original question of the Chargers taking too long in doing this. And the one thing that he said is that he had to really make this decision 3 times. Twice he got it right. Once he got it wrong. And the time that he got it wrong because he put in limitations on who we interviewed, and he put a time frame in order to conduct those interviews, and he rushed to make a hire, and he made that hire too quick. And it's better to interview a ton of people and pick the right guy. There are a lot of qualified candidates out there. If one of them gets hired in the process, so be it. But ultimately, if you've got 2 or 3 guys that you really think can do the job, you want to hire the right one of those 2 or 3 than to hire somebody who's not in that